Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment and wholesale Senate Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41. Hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results and all of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Hey Scott, you just need to reset your default mic again. Your mic auxiliary audio, where it says device not connected, not available, just reset that to your default mic. Cheers.
All right, you should be able to hear me now. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. All right, so anyway, what I was saying, there's not a lot going on as of right now. I do have put on a couple reversion trades, so I'll be going over on this webinar the different strategies I take off these Stop Iceberg events. So this is enhanced data that the CME's put out, started putting out about 8 years ago, that shows us where the big money is basically hiding their orders, where these don't trigger until the market trades into them, and you don't see it in the order book until it's traded into. So you can see icebergs and stop runs is the core of my trading, and I look for these stop iceberg events in my important areas to take trades. And then we also have trades that take advantage of the ridiculous propensity for these markets to come back to the volume events, and we take them at these select ATRs. So I did take this one. I kind of jumped the gun on this one. As far as a back in black, I was usually wait for it to bounce off something important. In this case, it was a Mentor Q Gex level. Wasn't quite up there, but I saw this one, so I took it, and then I shouldn't have, and took a loss on that, and then I just took another one here. You do have a spot gamma level here, and also market profile composite. So it doesn't have to be just gex levels. It's anything important that it's responding to. So you can see here. I mean, at the time it was bouncing off of this, but so I was playing it up, bouncing off of there. But again, you can play it off other things. So I was playing it off of there. It got through there, but it's kind of bouncing off this spot gamma level. So I'm willing to take it. Usually I'll take all of the corresponding ATRs after it bounces something off of something. So 3, 2, 1 back to the zone. Here's a good example from yesterday, actually, of that happening. Let's see if I can find it. One of these puppies. Yeah, so this is a good example yesterday in NASDAQ. I only caught one of these, but all 3 of them hit. Right, so event, this was a sell stop run, bounced up 2 gex levels. You could have taken the 3, the 2, the 1, cash out back at the zone. So this is the best, closest thing to a scalp that is viable for retail traders, in my opinion. That's how I made all my money back in the day, was scalping off this order book. It's impossible now, in my opinion, to be consistent with it because these algos are just too fast. You see them in here on the heat map. It's just not a viable way to trade, especially as a retail trader where you're ringing yourself up with commissions every time you get in and out. So this is the best way to take advantage of short-term movement where you're in and you're out type of trade. So I have those type of trades that I'll trade, and then I put on position trades as well. I am working a position trade here potentially in gold. So we had sell ice here. This market has been ridiculous as far as volatility.
TC1 validated.
So I was working shorts. Those are now canceled because this just validated as a long. So the way I distinguish whether an event is bullish or bearish is if it could push an ATR, current ATR, out of the zone. And this is a mild ATR compared to the last few days. So this is telling me just move the decimal point. It's about 87.5 ATR, meaning it's rotating 87 ticks every 5 minutes. So very important to know that, and the volume events. So there's 2 things that drive markets. It's volume and volatility. So that's the core of my trading. So anyway, that's how I judge whether these are bullish or bearish. I was working a short here. Again, important areas. This was an Izzy zone, so I draw these every day for myself in my trade room. Where important things happen, the 4 important areas of charting: tops and bottoms of balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, which is just the middle of a balance area, directional conviction, and buying and selling tails. There's not a lot of tails on here, but there's one there. So that's what I draw it in, because when these markets come back to these areas, they tend to react very consistently, I should say. So anyway, there was sell ice here. I was willing to take that short.
House Minority Leader Jeffries says conversations with Republicans have been limited. Currently, Minority Leader Jeffries is speaking to Bookmap Ltd.
So these inflection zones are meant to be fade trades. So as the market moves into them, I'll fade it. But again, that trade is now disqualified because this volume event turned bullish, meaning it hit the ATR. My room is telling me I could take a reversion trade off of the lug. Let's see here. Yes, so I will take this reversion off of the red Ludwig level, which are extremely powerful levels in their own right. And I just missed the entry there. My room tried to let me know. So congratulations, this is a 100% winner because I missed it. So again, the red lug is right up here, right? And it bounced off there, and I could have taken that. So congrats on that winner. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Oh, sorry. I had to put on MGC. I do not want to be trading the big contract here. I'll get my head ripped off. Let's see if I can get this on. If it pops back up here. So I missed it. I don't chase it, right? I mean, that's part of the... Well, I'll chase it right here. Just a couple ticks. It's fine. All right, so again, I take them as they bounce. This is called a back and black reversion trade. So you can take them aggressively, meaning first move into these ATRs. So that's what's going on this chart, right? So these dotted lines are the ATRs. There's the 1, the 2's up there, the 3's up there, and then you have the stop for those as well. So here's the 1 ATR, reversion 1 entry, stops way up here, which I need to put in, and I'll put it a little bit above that GEX level as well. So you have the 1, 2, and 3, and then I always get like, which ones do you put on? I don't know. Some days the 1s work nonstop. Some days the 2s and the 1s work. Some days those get blown out and the 3s are working. That's why I usually will just wait for it to bounce off of something and then take the corresponding ATRs as it comes back. So this was the red lug. I got that on. My stop's up here. I'm out at the zone.
Sit down with Democrats before the Asian trip.
So that is on. Actually, let me put an OCO in here so I don't forget to cancel my order like I always do. Move that up a smidge. I only put on, no, see, I screwed up there too. So I was looking at, so this is the other thing about the zone drawing tool. So this is now 100% winner because I didn't put on enough size. So I had the chance, I got in, and so I was looking at the position sizing. These are for the reversion trade. So I'm risking, that's another great thing about the zone drawing tool. So this will draw the events on the heat map that are happening on the subchart here. Developer in my trade room found a way to draw this stuff for us. So then just makes it so much easier. I used to draw these things by hand, right? So, so this is showing you obviously the event and then the ATRs and then their big ATR reversion lines and the entries for position trades. We'll go over all this, but it was telling me I could put on 4. So I'm risking $500 per trade here, basically. So I was supposed to put on 4. I only put on 2. So that is 100% going to win because I didn't put enough size on. If it pops back up there, I'll put 2 more on, but it's very unlikely to do that because every time I make a mistake, I pay for it dearly. So there you go. I don't know why I'm putting that in because it is not coming back there. Congratulations to those that you put it on. You're welcome. And I still have this little piglet on NASDAQ. So I didn't put on the corresponding. I was going to put on the corresponding off of that. It's now that the 3, 2, and 1, but a number was coming out. It came out. So I'll just let this play. I'm sick of watching this anyway. So. And there you go. Congratulations. I put half size on accident, but it worked. This is the exact trade, guys. So again, you could take the ATRs as it moves into them aggressively or wait for it to bounce off something. I waited for it to bounce off the lug, and I didn't even see it until a member of my room told me, and this is what I want from my room is if everyone participates, then no one misses trades, including me. So we got something happening here in Russell, RTY. Couple blips of bias. So that one didn't trigger because so I have thresholds for each one of these markets, meaning tradable events, right? I don't just trade every blip on this thing. Like for instance, this was 121 earlier. Well, I didn't trade that because just from my experience of trading so many of these, I know what is a meaningful amount of volume or not. That was not meaningful, so it didn't announce it, didn't draw it. This is meaningful, and you had one here that didn't draw, and you got another one, so I'm going to combine these two as well when this draws. And it's another great thing about the zone drawing tool. You can adjust it and you can draw manually too in case you have hold on, I want to see what's good. There's a lot of activity in CL here today. They announced it was like a bombing in Russia, and then the OPEC just came out and said something. Actually, I had some trades working. I need to cancel these orders while I'm over here. Hold on.
Order canceled.
Let's see what's going on here. So a huge gap up overnight. This was looking like this was going to happen structure-wise. We talked about it in my room yesterday. So over the last couple days, yeah, that guy, it actually had a fail balance breakdown, and it should have went there, and then it didn't. And I'm like, because I come up with a thesis, meaning a guess based on structure, and then if the volume events match those guesses, then I trade bigger, right? So it's like an A+ type of trade. So anyway, this came back, and I'm like, well, why is this coming back? Now it should get killed. And then it held again, and I'm like, okay, well, now. And then it also put in that selling tail. So I'm like, okay, I still had a bearish tone, and it broke down from all this, which we're going to talk about here in a second too. But Then it gapped up above this tail yesterday, and I said, watch out, this thing's probably going to do one of these, and it's exactly what it did overnight. And again, it was fundamental, something happened overnight, but regardless, it still happened. So my thesis was correct overall. So I mean, yesterday if I would have got a bullish event, then I would have traded double size. But that's, they usually do the sneak attack overnight. Anyway, bigger picture though, this is looking like a major fail balance breakdown, or it's trying. It's in a very important area here. So that is a balance area. Balance areas are just two-sided trade where traders are placing bets, right? So it did break down from there. Did break down, came back, tested the high volume node, failed. And here we are again, right? So if it gets above, I'd say line in the sand 63, anything above 63, that's a longer term failed balance breakout, and you just should see a major move higher. Should, right? It's a guess, but based on, experience and understanding balance areas and how traders react when they're wrong, that should happen over the next however many days. So 63 is a line in the sand there. All right, what's going on in I can't put that. I can't put that again. Stopped out of NASDAQ yet. What's going on here? So lots of bias coming in here in Russell. All right, I still got this reversion trade on. Really, really annoying. I've only been in this trade for about half hour. It's even more annoying because these markets usually come straight back to this thing, and then I get them, and then I got to sit here and watch this thing do this. That's why I'm not even trying to watch it. So if it pops back there, I'm out. More importantly, something's going down here in Russell. Huge buy ice is coming in. So this is what I try to explain to traders. It's like, if you're not using this information, you just don't have all the information. Like, would you want to know, regardless if you're trading, whether you're long or short, that there's tons of buy ice coming in here, right? The big money, doesn't mean the market just stops and turns on a dime because they're buying, but more often than not, it does because they're the big money. If they keep putting in buy ice here, it's going to eventually hold up and relent. But then on the flip side, if this turns bearish, it's telling you something too. One, that they can't hold it up, and two, they're wrong, right? So again, you never know what they're doing. You don't know if they're getting out of shorts or they're hedging options. It doesn't matter. You're never going to know. All you need to know is the area and the concentrated area of volume where traders are placing bets, and then we take advantage of that move out of there or back to it. So I'm just going to combine these, right? You had this guy. That was 141. Looks like it was all the same prices here. Started over here. So this is how you can judge too. Like if you draw them manually, you just go to the middle of the bubble. Look where the spike happened on the chart here. That happened right there. So that was within that one. And then you had this spike there and there. I talk about this. I talk about this in my course as well. I show how to do this, but the SI course. But I'm going to combine these in one big zone, and we will trade accordingly depending on position trades and or reversion trades. So I have different accounts set up for each one of these strategies, right? I'm not trading everything on one account. So I have 10 different, I have all the Apex accounts, and then I have the 10 different $20,000 account, real money accounts that I'm trading all these strategies off of. So that's how I'm doing it. So I could have opposing positions on at times, right? So I could be short something and then long the reversion trade type of thing. All right, this is getting close enough, and I'm sick of sitting in this thing. So I'm probably I'm just getting out of three. I'm just tired. I tell traders not to do this, but these prices are so damn exact. You would be, watch, I guarantee this runs away from this price. Watch this. See what I mean? It's like, it's unbelievable. So I either get filled to the tick or, did I call that to the T? Look at that. It's like the markets react to, it's a whopping 3 micros, and it's like sniffs it out and runs away. This is what I go through everybody using the zone drawing tool. These prices are ridiculous as far as response to the market response. Did I call that? That's why I got out of 3 of them. So whatever, if it comes back, I'll get out of the other 3. Just so annoying. When you watch it 500 times a day, it gets real annoying. This is why I had another winner here in crude earlier. This is exactly why I got out where I did, because I was just waiting for that same nonsense to happen. And I had to leave my office too, and I didn't want to have miss doing this, which I did at the time. So I took this was an A+ reversion earlier. So we have different types of reversions. We've taken a couple back in blacks today where tag something. These are A+ reversions where the entry isn't a prior volume event. Those are even better because the trap traders that were caught in here, they won out, and that helps when it comes back. That helps propel it back to the zone. So anyway, I took that one and I got out. I had to leave my office, but that one would have worked. I cost myself a little bit there. Hey, there it is. That was quick. It took about 35 minutes. That's not too bad. All right, so that's the perfect. We've seen 2 of these now, right? Where this one, again, I took it off the market profile composite, but it also bounced off the spot gamma level, and I took it. I could have taken all 3 of them, and let's see. Sometimes, if you take all 3 as it comes back, you could get swiped out of one. You may have, if I entered the 1 here, I may have been stopped out of the 1, but the 2 and the 3 worked. And you just keep putting them on if you have an edge. So that is a winner, chicken for dinner. I'm tickled. And then, so crude, this is not an A+ reversion anymore. I mean, this reversion is probably going to work like right now, right? But this is not the prior event. The rules are supposed to be the prior event. So, and I don't know what the hell's going on here today. I don't think they know. It's buy ice versus sell ice. So there's no real. And again, I don't just say because there's sell ice. I mean, they've been selling this all morning and it's not doing anything, right? So right now, but you can see there was sell ice. This was news. The OPEC news, and then more sell ice, and now buy ice is coming in. Hey, look at that. That's a reversion trade. What do you know? It's like, what, 4 today already since we've been on the webinar. All right, back to Russell. Tons of buy ice. Let's look at position trades first and foremost, meaning areas. So this is an IZZY. All right, market was up here, came back in here, buy ice, and we're putting in a big tail. I mean, the hour is not done yet, obviously, but remember we talked about tails are very important. Speaking of tails, like look at, was it, yes? Yeah, like look, when tails give you so much information, like, because it's instant rejection, right? I mean, granted, this is an hourly chart, so it's not instant, but relatively, and you can see buying tail there, tail, launch, right? So tails are very, very important. It's kind of why I drew these 3 down here too. So you had buying tail yesterday, and this, by the way, is a very important area if it comes back here. That's a balance area. It tried to do a fail balance break out this way. I was waiting for that yesterday. Didn't happen, held. Put in buying tail, directional conviction. So that's why that's there. This is a very important area. If that comes back, I would still take fail balance break out of that guy. The best trade in position trading. But on the flip side, same thing's happening here. Watch this guy. So if this can clear this, I'd say line in the hand is line in the sand is like 67, 75. If it gets through there, so I would need to see a bullish event, right? And the entry above that high volume node, that's just the middle of a balance area where most of the trade occurred. Then I would take a fail balance breakout long. So that's very important areas. In between those right now, I have no opinion here as far as thesis to trade bigger. But if it did break above there, I would take my longs double size because of the thesis, because of the structure. So this is what I mean, guys. This is why I wanted to get out. Like, look at this. Look at this fill. These prices are just stupid. So there you go. I'm surprised it just didn't miss it as usual, like I thought it was going to, and then do this. But I'm, again, tickled that I got filled on that. But you use the zone drawing tool, you will be, I mean, I get stopped to the tick, filled to the tick. So say I'm going long, right? That's the yellow line. I can't tell. It happens at least 5 times a day where it'll come up, fill me exactly, and then do that. That type of thing.
Stop by and view.
All right.
100.
New event here. Let's get the tick strike going too. Hold on, this isn't Izzy Long and Russell. I don't want to miss that trade. That was a ton of bias down there. So that is not filled yet. I will take that. Izzy Long, I could put on 5. You see this entry price, that's what long aggressive means. It means if I'm going long, this is my entry price, and then my stop's way down here. And my sizing is already built into this, right? So based on my rules from trading millions of these things, feels like when I take trades, position trades, we already talked about reversion trades. This is a position trade where I'll get in here, my stop's all the way down here. Why do I do that? Because I try to avoid the best I can the algo nonsense when nothing's going on, because they know nothing's going on, just like we could see, and then they start whipsawing traders to death. So if I'm going to be wrong on this long, if I get filled up here, and I need to put this in right now and stop talking, I'm gonna force this market to come all the way back to the ATR, push through the volume event where there's tons of trap traders here. So whoever came in here selling and ran into this mouthful of buy ice, It's not feeling very good right now, right? So as it comes back, they went out, and that causes that pattern as well. But if I'm going to be wrong, it's got to get through all of this, push another ATR plus out of the zone to stop me out. That's the way I trade it. I understand it erodes the R. We do have trades where we jump in right in the middle. Actually, this was, I don't know what I'm looking at here. This was a sexy Gexy. I don't know. I'm drawing the zone on top of these Gex levels. So this was another mistrade by me. You got Gex 5, blind spot 2. This was the epitome of a sexy Gexy. I don't know what I'm doing. Not jumping in. This is one of our trades where you jump in the middle of the zone. So that's already happened. F to my room for not pointing that out. It's their fault that I missed that, not mine. Just kidding. Someone may have said something, I just missed it. But this is the definition of a sexy Gexy. What's a sexy Gexy? So there's my trading strategies. I have a course on these as well. Sexy Gexy. Take any fade trade into a spot gamma mentor Q gamma level. Trade is taken immediately when the opposing ice event fires off. Market moving higher with buy stop runs or sell ice, or market moving lower with sell stop runs or buy icebergs. This was the definition of that. Hold on, I gotta get in this, Izzy. I'm very mad. I don't know how I missed that. I'm staring at the chart, drawing the zone. All right, so this entry is at 84. I'm going to put on half size here just to show you guys the price change game. I may get burned on it.
Order held.
All right, I got half size on. So I put on 3 versus 5. Actually, I shouldn't have done that because this is not price changing into the level. So I'm just going to put on full size. We'll go over what I'm talking about here. Let me put this other one on.
Order held.
All right, that was an Izzy. Let's see if there's anything else down here I could have gotten wrong. Why are they so? This is a pick too. So this is a profiles encouraged, we call it. I have named funny names for memorable names for all these. Anyway, your entry is back inside here. Try to break down. Now it's back inside of it. Actually, I need to merge these to make sure this is correct. This needed to be merged into. So these are composite value areas. They're daily value areas that are merged together, right? Very important. This is where 70% of the trade occurred in single days, and when I merge them, it's multiple days. Very important. Very important areas. So you can see here, this tried to break down today out of it, and it's trying to get back inside. So I'll take a pick long here too. This pops back. Of course, fell to the exact tick as usual. 85. This is pick. And I gotta get back to NASDAQ too. I'm sure it'll wait for me. 55.
One minute to go.
1 minute to go on what?
Order held.
All right, just chase that a little bit. All right, so I'm long picking Izzy here, and then we can take reversions back. So say it bounces off this Gex too. I cannot believe I missed the sexy Gexy. I don't know what I'm smoking this morning. But anyway, bounce off of that. I could take the reversion short too. So I will keep an eye on that. And you got a spot gamma level up. I'm sure these are related, but you got one way up here. But if it pops up there and starts coming back, I'll take the corresponding reversion trades. I've already caught a couple of those today. So I want to know if it hits there. I'm not getting in right here. I want to see it bounce and come. You could put on the aggressive right now. You could have put on the aggressive. I'm waiting for it to bounce, and then if it bounces, then I'll take it coming back.
10 seconds.
What is the 10 seconds? Oh, the natural gas number. All right.
CW short retested.
What did I do here? So I got nothing going on this. There's nothing for me to do on this gold event now because it tagged the ATR above and below. So that's dead to me. I don't trade it if it does that. So nothing in gold. Let's see what I missed. NASDAQ's just hanging out in the zone. I could do the same thing. Let's see position trades. Nothing Izzy wise, so nothing to short there. This is a pick. Right, it buy stops basically into the top of this dude. These areas are very powerful, right? So I'll take that. This looks like a dada trade as well. What's dada? So the market's at extreme standard deviation. The 3 ingredients are, here's VWAP, Here's the 1 ATR, which is called daily value area. Here's the 2, here's the 3, right? So, or, I should say ATR, standard deviation. So that's the 1 standard deviation from VWAP. You have these algos that love to snap it back there. Here's the 1.5, here's the 2. So if the market is at extreme standard deviation of VWAP, which it is, 1.5 or more, this is 1.5, with a stop run, buy stop run in this case is a dumb and dumber potentially, with a diverging delta. So this is the delta, meaning sellers, there's people hitting bids more than taking offers. Well, how could that be as the market's moving up? Because people can be putting, as it moves up, people can be putting orders in the order book, but not taking offers aggressively, right? So as this market's moving up, guys could be not they're hitting bids as this is moving up aggressively versus, so that just means someone just keeps putting in passive orders in the bid, right? So meaning they're hitting it and they're putting in passive buy orders. So it's going to show up as a CVD going that way, right? So it's the same thing like when you see icebergs, you'll see all this, you'll see like the CVD going down and then the buy icebergs are just absorbing it. So what does that mean? It usually means that because the aggressors are the sellers, that the market's going to stop here. It is not a red light, green light signal. Trust me. When I first learned this, I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm like, wow, look at that. And then the market would do that. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. There's days that this thing can be diverging and it moves 300 points until it finally turns around. So that's why I demand the other filters for that trade to take advantage of a diverging delta as we're seeing right now, right? Actually, I take that back. This needs to be making a new high, my bad. So it needs to be standard deviation, but it needs to be making a new high with a diverging delta. So this is not making a new high. So X that trade. Sorry about that. I'm a little peaked today, obviously. But that is not a data, but it is, we could take a pick short here. And we have a brewing A+ reversion as well. So I just showed you the A+ reversion in crude. This is the same look. Event. Here's your entry. So the entry could be in the prior event or just outside of it, as long as your stop is outside on the other side. Why? Because again, whoever sold in here wants the hell out. We already saw that once when it came back here. That's why it's one of the reasons that it ricochets off here, because these guys say, oh, please let me out, but thank you, right? So this is an A+. I'll still play this even though it's already done it once. That's my entry for the A+. I could put on 5, risking $500. Actually, I'm risking $375 on these, but that's all right. So that's that. And my stop's there. We just hit that. I'm so mad at myself for you get what 1,000 buy ice here in Russell felt like, and I missed this trade, and that's very upsetting. I am long here though. So, I mean, this isn't much of a profit. Obviously, I got in right here, but you know, I pay myself as the market makes money. The market makes money available to me straight out of Trading in the Zone. We'll get that document, so I can go on some rants here. But you know, this is an important area. This is why I'm willing to take it back in black. So you could piece out of a couple. I mean, this is it's a 20 tick trade right now. But you know, the market, just because I want it to blow through here, and you see where this market's going, very likely almost 100% in my opinion. You know, I don't ignore important areas just because I don't. So I could get out of like 1 or 2 here, which I'll do. I only have 5 on. I'll get out of 1 here just in case it rips back. Because it's very likely. So we just saw the GEX level work down here. Right? Market responded. So you know the dealers are hedging here, and then you had huge buy ice. Again, I missed this trade, and this is a whopper trade. I don't know how I did not take that trade, but I didn't. Anyway, so it just blew through there, and I'm fine with it. I got out of 1. I still have 4 on, so if it rips to this liquidity, which it looks like it's going to do right now, then I'll judge up here to get out of some too. So this is one of my areas that I get out. Let me pull up this document, and I will show you what I'm talking about. So the same areas I get out are the same areas that I initiate trades, right? They're important areas. My important areas. They don't have to be yours, and you may have your own important areas. Like I say all the time, it's not for me to tell you if your areas are important. What I'm saying is demand an iceberg event or stop run in those areas, and your trading will be that much better. Let's see. See how it's struggling at this spot gamma level, right? I could get out of 1 more here. This is, I already got out of one. I'm fine with this. So, you know, if it pops back here, and I'll still take, I could take this reversion if I really wanted to. This isn't really a back in black, like it's right on it. So I'm not going to take this one, but if it does come back here, I'll take the one. This is the 2 reversion here. I'll take the one. So my position sizing for the reversion trade, I could put on 14. Oh, by the way, last week, remember if you guys were on, when I put on the trade and I stopped out and I like it liquidated me, and I'm like, what the hell just happened there? Oh, it's because I put on 15 big Russell versus 14. So instead of losing, I would have been down 140 bucks. And actually the trade worked. It cost myself, because I put on big ones, it stopped me out because I have these things set up. So if I hit, and we'll get into that, right? And if I hit a certain amount, it just freezes the account for the day where I can't trade anymore. Anyway, I put on 15.
Stop by NQ 190 contract.
I put on 15 and I lost $1,500 on the trade in about 2 seconds just because I had the big one on versus the small one. So make sure when you're using this, if you're trading off Bookmap, they got to change this process. I've talked to them about it before. You got to go through like 3 steps. Anyway, I had this up here, but I didn't hit start. So I had the big one on. So I cost myself $2,000. I lost $1,500 on the trade, and it was a $500 winner, which made it even worse. All right. So remember, I was working this A+ reversion. Well, it's not, and that's done because it's got to be the prior event. So this is now not the prior event. This is the prior event, and this is the new event. So now we just move to the next strategies. That's all canceled. If you got questions too, put them in YouTube, please. The ones I see. Martin Vedreno. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, Martin. Omar, one question. How are these ATR waves calculated?
Russell Iceberg Sell RT 150 contract.
Around the X levels. What are X levels, Omar? What do you mean? So the ATR levels are coming off of the volume event, right? So they're not just, floating in space. They're based off of this. And just, again, I've already shown you like 4 of them today that tag these ATRs and come back to the zone. So it's based off of the volume event. So that's the current, like right now, Russell's ATR, you move the decimal, it's like 48. So meaning it's rotating 48 ticks every 5 minutes, right? So then we base the ATRs off of the volume event. All right, you got sell ice here too. Now I could trail mine, so I'm long this market, right? And this is one of the areas I get out. So this is what I was trying to pull up. If it struggles here, I'm going to get out of a couple more here. So we're long Russell, Izzy, and Pick, right? This is a good trade. This is a, 100, this is an 80 tick trade so far. So look, there's no one selling here. I don't need to get out. This is where you can use the bubbles. I don't use the bubbles to place trades, right? Meaning this is just market orders coming in. But you can judge, like you see, there's no sell bubbles here. So as of right now, if they start to come in, then I'll get out of one like that. But the point is, you can kind of judge. If I just saw blue bubble, blue bubble, blue bubble, then I could
Order filled.
hold on to the trade.
House Minority Leader Jeffries says Congress probably needs to act.
Order filled.
All right, I got to have another one here. So these are one out here. Let me pull this up before I forget here. So this is straight out. I put my own stuff in this, but this is straight out of Trading the Zone by Mark Douglas. Pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So we got out of one at the Mentor Q Gex level, and there was a spot gamma level there too. And then this was struggling to get through heavy resting liquidity. So it's telling you something. If it doesn't blow through that, I get out of something. You see, that's exactly what just happened there. That's why I got out of another one. And then my final exit. So what I will do is I'll get out at important areas. I'll peace out like I did. Then I hold a portion trying to get to the next major lug, which is now this is the dada, right? This is the requirement for dada. A new high, diverging delta, stop run at extreme standard deviation. Now I'll take that trade, right? I'll come back there. Hold on, I got to put this in so I don't miss the trade here. Nasdaq moves a little faster than Russell. So the dada entries that you can see this yellow line, just hover over it, short aggressive, meaning we'll get in aggressive versus waiting for ATR retest. But this is the entry price. This would be my stop. My sizing, take that all into account. So this eliminates most of the errors retail traders make. One, well, where do I get in? I want to go short up here. Where do I get in? Well, if you follow my rules, if you're trading these things and you trust me from trading 5 million of these things and my experience in the markets, this is where you get in. Well, where do I get out? That's where you get out. Well, how much size do I put on? That's the most important thing, that you're not over trading your account, because if you trade too big for your account size, you're going to run into a day or trades that blow you out. It's 100%. So that's the number one thing you need to respect, is your sizing. So that's all built into the zone jar. So if this comes down, I will put the dad trade on at 136.50. I could put on 2 micros, risking the $500. All right, let me put that in. Mr. Dada. All right, that's working, Mr. Dada. Then I can take reversion trades to the major level. If it bounced off there, I can take the 1 ATR. I will put an alert here to let me know. And then back to this puppy. So you see, this is what I was waiting for, and I never put this reversion on. It would have been a loser, right? I was waiting for it to tag that and come back. Well, it tagged it. Did it come back? No. So I avoided losing aggressive reversions. That's why back of blacks are better and A pluses are the best, in my opinion. You could there's still an edge in their aggressive reversions. Don't get me wrong, but you've got to take every one of them to let the edge play out. I can't do that sitting here watching all these markets, especially on webinars. That's why I demand to bounce off something and I take them coming back. The aggressive ones still work, like this one. You would have, if you took the aggressive one, came close to retesting, by the way. You would have been stopped out of the 1, the 2, not the 3 yet. And that's okay. If you trust me, there's an edge. And if you don't believe me, again, if you don't believe anything I'm telling you, perfectly fine. Get Bookmap. You can replay the days. You can get the zone drawing tool. It'll draw the events on for you. If for some reason you can't get those, email me, because they have a different version. They have a beta version because it wasn't drawing the zones during replay mode. But my point is, you get in replay mode and it'll draw the zones and trade it like it's a real market, and you will find out for yourself that the reversions work non-stop. Yeah, a guy in my room, most of these guys are taking it, but this guy is like taking all of them. You can see all his posts. Like, look at this. This is what I want from my room. Look at this. Winner, 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 winner. So he has losers too, right? He even asked me a couple weeks ago, he's like, do you want me to put the losers in? I'm like, no. And it's not because I'm hiding anything. It's just because, and on top of it, when you research your trades, like when you're seeing why your trades lost, when I was studying, because when I got back in the business, I was going to trade stocks with SMB because Dr. Brett Steenbarger is associated with them. And they don't even let their traders look at why they had losing trades. They just want them to concentrate on the winning trades, right? What was right about the winner. So because you're not always going to have a reason for why a trade lost. You're not always going to have a reason why it won either, but a lot of times, for instance, like if I'm in a crude trade today, if I was short here this morning when this OPEC news came out, this thing like just swiped down. If I was long, not short. So if I was long up here and I got a great area and I'm like, yeah, I'm long, and then that happens. Well, you don't know that's going to happen. Like that's just a random like news story, right? So stop focusing on like why that loss. Like it had nothing to do with anything but a news story coming out. So focus on your winners and what went right with your winners, and it just reinforces in your brain too. So every time you have a winner, which I tell my trade room every day, you should be having a Google Slides where you just put in the winner, the winner, the winner, the winner, and then after 6 months and a year, you'll have 100 winners. In the morning when you get up, scroll through your whatever strategy you're taking, and look at all your winners, and you're just like, okay, yes, I remember this edge works, because you're going to go through periods where nothing works. It happens all the time. But if you have an edge, you just keep putting the trade on. Speaking of which, this guy Andrew from my trade room has just developed an AI journaling, and it's based on all the stuff that we're doing. It's incredible. I asked him if I can share the, let me see. He said, yeah. We did it in my room the other day. This guy is off the chart smart, and he developed this AI tool, this journaling tool, and it's ridiculous. I haven't used it yet. I can't wait. I think he's giving it to other guys in the room. I don't know why he hasn't given it to me. I do know why, because I'm trading so many strategies. He said,
South Democrats warn that new Chinese visas
hold on here, trying to see if he said it was okay, because I'll share it right now if it's okay. All right, he said awesome for sure. Oh wait, about the YouTube channels. I think we should build in stealth for another few weeks, make it more feedback in the room. Okay, yeah. So he doesn't want me posting it yet. If you come in my room, join my room, you have access to it. You'll have access to it eventually because it's supposed to be. He thinks it's going to be the #1 trading journal out there. So anyway, I'm not going to share it on YouTube publicly yet. But if you come in my room, you can watch it. But that's in the works. And if you're a member of my trade room, you'll get the thing for free. So he's beta testing right now. I think we took like 13 traders the other day, or he brought 13 traders on. But it's eventually going to be free for everyone in my room. So another perk of the trade room on top of learning an incredible strategy, the most incredible strategy I've ever seen. I need to trail my stop to this first and foremost for these longs here. So if it comes back off of this volume event, and then I can take potential shorts off of this, right? So you see it's struggling up here. Resting liquidity. We do have an A+ reversion brewing here too. It's way down here, the 3. Right, so first of all, let me get my stop in for these longs. Remember, I got out of a couple here. I got out of a couple when I struggled to get through a heavy resting liquidity. Now I trail my stop to the most recent event. This is how so there's another thing that traders do that even Andrew, who built the AI thing, he said the other day on the webinar, his biggest weakness is the trailing of the stop to break even. It's the dumbest thing you can do. It's why retail traders don't make it. It's just so stupid, imposing your will on the market, meaning, all right, I got a profit here. I caught these longs with Scott. I don't want to give this back. I mean, say this didn't happen, right? If this comes back now, I'm gonna get out. Guys, what do you think these algos are doing? They know traders are doing that. That's why they start to whipsaw you to death, right? Because they know trailers trail their stops. So the algos put their bids in, they swipe it down, you puke into their bids, and then it comes back. So stop doing that. That's what I'm saying. So how I trail my stops is based on something that actually happened in the market, a new volume event. So now I'll trail my stop. Other than that, I got out of one. I hold a portion to the next major Ludwig level. And if it doesn't get there, it comes all the way back, then it comes all the way back. Most of the time, you'll get an event to trail your stop to. But if it comes back, it comes back. You got to be okay with it. You know, I'm okay with that because the next major lug is way, way up here, right? So it's like, I'm going to hold a portion all the way to there. Did I just hear ES? There's no way there was an event in ES, is there? No, it was ES. So anyway, I'm going to trail my stop, and then I'm going to let it ride the rest of these, either opposing volume event. I mean, I have 3. What do I have? 3 still on. I could still get out of another one. So you see where this is another area. I should be out of one more here. Actually, didn't see this bottom of that guy. So this is the trade we took out of this guy, right? So I entered because of this important area. I'm not going to ignore an important area just because I want this thing to go higher. All right, so I'll give this a second, see if we can blow through here. Well, I want to tick straight too. All right, so we got some potential trade longs in Q2. Hold on, let's start up. There it is. So this is a must in my trading, but it gets really, really annoying. I mean, if you have a trade going against you, when the trade's going for you, there's nothing worse than watching the trade go against you and then listening to it. But when it's going for you, this is delightful. All right, so NASDAQ, this is a different trade here. Did I just miss it? No, there wasn't A+. This was another reversion work, by the way. This wasn't A+. I didn't take this one, but you see, look what it tagged to basically the tick and back to the zone. Over and over and over and over. There's already like 6 or 7 today that we've seen. All right, I've taken like 3 of them, I think. I'm fine missing this one. This was not A+, and it wasn't a back in black. So, but it still worked. That's my point. That's why if you're taking the aggressive ones, you take every one. So we just saw like the Russell, aggressive loss, a loss. This one, we had a winner. We've seen a couple winners. So say you were working, and this is another thing too, say you're working an aggressive or a back in black reversion here, and say you got in, or you were looking to get in. The minute a new event fires off, I either cancel it, or if I got filled, I'm out of the trade. I don't hope it comes back to this zone, even though it did. If I get a new event, I just move on to the next event. to look for that setup, right? Anyway, this is a potential bark and lick trade. What's a bark and lick? When you get a volume event, it tags the ATR, it retests the zone, comes back. So I can take those. I think it tagged the ATR, maybe not. No, not yet. But he said it retested, so it had to have on there. When I say he, Bookmap Bob, that's the guy talking to me. That's what we call him. I don't see that tagging the ATR there. It did now. So now if it comes back, I could put on bark and lick. They're the same trades. It's where you're looking for the ATR, a retest, and then back out. So bark means blind anywhere. ATR is the A. R is the retest of the volume event. C is the confirm back out of the zone. They happen all day, every day. So the whole point is, I've been talking about today, for the position trades, looking for these events in important areas. Well, the edge is inherent in the event, so I still want to take advantage of it. These trades are way more active, right? And they're not as high percentage. It's still an edge, though. Just like the aggressive ATRs aren't as high a percentage, but it's still an edge. So if you're going to take them all, you will be profitable over the long run, in my opinion. It's not an opinion, it's because I've been trading for these for 8 years. So anyway, that pattern, I still want to take advantage of it. So if it does that, then I'll put that trade on too. See what else we got. Could potentially put on shorts off of this too. Let's just see where we're at. This is the process you go through. And for your markets you're watching, you should know all this in the morning, like where you're at. So when that stuff starts firing off, like it's a pretty dead morning here. Whoops. I mean, things are firing off, but it's not crazy, right? When it gets crazy, it's like, what the hell on here? I want to do that. Show the market away from me here. This is all I was trying to do. There we go. All right, so this is a pick. We just took the pick long in Russell. If that fails, this is a market profile composite. I can take a pick short. We have the dada. I already talked about that with this new stop run. Short. That's your entry for that. I already have that working. I forgot about that.
And Q1 retested.
And then it'll probably take an Izzy. Let's see if this is an Izzy. I've lost my chart. Hold on, let me get the pick in first so I don't miss it. So I got dada and pick shorts here. If this turns into a bearish event, I could put on whopping 2 micros, risking $500. Entry is down here. You got to adjust this until you get filled. Remember, it was at 35. Well, now it's at 30. Where is it? Hold on there. 33/4 short. Let me find my Izzy chart here. This is an Izzy too, right on the edge of it. Right there. This one's even more powerful because it's the bottom of this dude that it broke down from yesterday. I was hoping it would go to 0 yesterday, but it held the same thing I just showed you with the yes. This held exactly where markets tend to hold if they're going to remain bullish. Look at that right there. This comes back. I say 24.8 is your line in the sand. Watch out below. So I'll take Izzy short, pick short, dada short, dada. 33/4 is your entry. What's going on with Russell, by the way? Just bouncing around here. Well, I was supposed to get out of another one, though, because that's the market profile composite. So I'm going to get out of one more Russell here. Remember, we had Izzy and pick on in this one, long. Of course, missed it.
Order canceled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. Of course, I was going to get out up here, and I couldn't bring it up quick enough, and I just cost myself like 30 ticks. I got out in one more Russell, and my stops trailed. Actually, I got to chill, fix my stop. I didn't even put it in. What am I doing here? Hold on. Remember, I'm trailing my stops in the most recent event. 84 is my stop now. I just forgot to do that. When I say 84, I'm just talking the last 2 digits. the stops are working. Trail my stop to that, and I can potentially take shorts off of that too.
150 for
Working
contracts.
Dada, pick, Izzy shorts, and NQ. The trade's down here. The reversion trade's done, meaning it already happened, so I don't take corresponding reversions. It tagged to the tick and back to the zone, so that trade's done. I can't take them again per my rule. You can do whatever you want. I don't take them. I wait for if it does it, then I'm done with it.
Prior TS short entered. TS short validated.
All right, you got some stuff going on, and I haven't been trading grades lately just because the ATR is pathetic. It's like 1. It's like it's not even worth your time, in my opinion. It doesn't, just sits there and goes nowhere most days. Let's see. I guarantee this was a. The problem is these. So you guys have Mentor Q. You gotta put your key back in. Thank you, do not ever tell me that, or I would have been sitting here all morning. They had something with that AWS outage. Hold on, let me, there you go. So if your Mentor Q levels are not working, by the way, I want to get this flip book on here. Where is my flip book? I can't log into X because hold on here. What? I'm trying to think where else because I can't log into X. I just got a new phone, and then it's like trying to go to my old phone. Hold on here. This is important because it's everything that I use in my trading. I usually just post it because I have it posted on my Twitter page, but whatever it is, X now. One second, guys. Nothing's going on anyway, so watch. You can want page right while I pull this stuff up. If you got questions, again, throw them in YouTube. I'll get to them here in a second. Sorry, I usually have all this stuff set up, but I had to restart my computer yet again because I've been having a problem with it this morning. I'm sure this is not right. Hey, it worked. What do you know? All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna put this in the YouTube channel. Chris, there's your answer. Oh, actually, it's not posting as me. Sorry. Hold on. Let me switch to my account. All right, here you go. You can see that in there. So if you go to this flip book that I just posted, everything's in here that I use in my trading, including my room. Right?
Composite index.
So here's the courses. So this is the course. I always get these questions. Which one should I start with? This is the core of my trading, the SI events, right? And this one I just draw them by hand. Still all the same relevant information, right? So this is how to trade the events, the 6 distinct events. Here's the strategies course. A strategy is just looking for these events in important areas. There's 18 different strategies. Again, you get that. It's not, you're not going to incorporate 18 strategies in your trading right off the bat. It's take 1, 2, or 3 of them, get really good at them, get profitable, and you can add them as you go along. It depends on your bandwidth, right? Some guys can't trade more than 1, and that's fine, right? But you can pick which one suits your style. Like if you love to scalp, then you take the ATR reversion trade. That's a different strategy per se. I just lost the flip book. All right, that's this course. So you've been seeing these all day today. Seeing like 10 of them already. The reversion course, that's all the rules behind the reversion trade. Here's the drawing tool that we've been talking about all morning. The best thing since sliced bread, in my opinion. Thank you, Johan, saving my life. This, I don't think this website's up. This is just it's working now. You can get the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool. If you need it, I have it on here too. If the zone drawing tool goes down or something, you can enter it in by hand. That's what this is here, right? So this is what we used for years. Now the zone drawing tool is the spreadsheet, but you can enter it in manually You get access to this to my room too, if you know, in case the zone drawing tool goes down. This is what you're asking there. Who was it? Chris. Here's the trade room. Click on that. Here's your different options: monthly, quarterly, yearly. You get discounts to my courses in mentoring as well as a member of my room. And you get access. You're going to get access to the AI journaling tool too. That thing's going to be a game changer for the trading world, not just us. It's unbelievable what the guy's done with it. Again, you come over, you can watch the webinar. Here's Bookmap. So you need a Bookmap. This is a discounted Bookmap. You need the MBO bundle to get the CME data. This deciphers the CME MBO data to to come up with the iceberg events. You also get, we haven't gone over the market pulse yet. This is incredible. But anyway, you need this to get the on chart. You have to have the subchart and on chart for the zone drawing tool to work. So you need to get this. I think they have something separate now. Someone asked me, and I guess it works if you don't want all this other stuff, but I highly recommend. This stuff is incredible in its own right? You get all of it. But if you just want the stop iceberg indicator, I think they have a separate split off for that. You can get that. But it's a monthly. Guys, I understand, like everyone's like, oh my God, all these expenses. There's certain things that you can skirt around. That's why I still use crappy Thinkorswim, because it's free, right? Like I don't need to pay for charting services. But there's some stuff you got to pay for if you want to have all the information. And this is one of the things, right? You got to have Bookmap and MBO bundle. I get that all the time. Do we need that to follow you or follow your system? Yes, that's the core of my trading. If you're not, I mean, you can learn like the structure stuff, right? But that's not the core of my trading. You know, the structure stuff is just me guessing on what's going to happen with the thesis. I look for the volume events. That's the driver of my trading. I say it nonstop. And then here's Apex. Again, when you're learning my stuff, I would get one of these things. Use Pulcini 50. It's my affiliate code. That's a way to say thank you for me showing you the best edge in the history of the world and futures, in my opinion. Anyway, get one of these things and practice your trading, right? Go over here. So I have all these Apex accounts that are now tied to my live accounts too. I still trade the Apex stuff, and then I put in an order on that, and that leads me to another thing. This trade copier just did a... Actually, I'll share this video with you. I just did a webinar with him the other day for my room. Hold on here. This one I can share because I think he was going to share it too. So I'm using a trade copier. It's incredible. I'm copying from Apex to live, and then I'm also copying from live to live. So I have my partner with my buddy back me with 200,000, and then I also trade the reversion Sexy Gexy trade with the trading firm. So I copy from that to that as well. Hold on here, let me post this. Hold on here. Nothing's going on, guys, so that's why I'm going over this right now. And I mean nothing. All right, this should work. If you can't get on for some reason, let me know. What do we say right here? Thank you, Carrie. Curious is in my room. Can your strategy be applied to Bitcoin perps? What the hell is a perp? You can trade futures. Yeah. So I have thresholds for the futures. Guys, that's the thing. You can apply this stuff for any market. It's all about volume and volatility. I don't care what market you're trading. If you know the threshold, which I do from watching all of these products, the best ones to, it's close to important areas to be trading size-wise. It doesn't matter what market you're trading. You see right here, there's a reversion trade, right? This is a potential reversion trade here. It actually already did it here again. You can take reversion trades. You can find important areas to trade this. I'm not trading this right now because it's seriously like watching paint dry. These grains, one ATR, no thanks, 1 point ATR. But anyway, doesn't matter. Like there's not always events in all these other markets every day. But when you get events, it's telling you something. Like you hear something in silver, heads up. Like you're going to get big moves very likely. There's been nothing threshold today. Threshold in here is 150. Here's copper. I don't think there's anything in here, but here's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, let's see, the threshold should be in here. It's 25, right? So if you see 20, I know that sounds small, but that's the amount that moves the market. There hasn't been a 25 today. There's been a 5, and it's doing nothing. ETH, same thing. I think I heard something in here earlier. ETH threshold is 15, right? So you get all that information too as part of it's part of the zone drawing tool, but it's in the course, all the thresholds for all these markets as well. So there's been nothing in here, but yeah, you can trade futures with the same exact strategies. I mean, you could trade crypto with the same exact strategies. All right, and then just to finish this, so that's Apex again. Get one of these and practice. And if you lose, which you're probably going to lose in the beginning until you know what you're doing, you're only losing a fraction of what you would lose, right? I already have it up here. What is going on with this? All right, so you go down here. I use the rhythmic, and I have a couple trade of 8s as well. But you just pick. So again, you got to understand this though. This is misleading. I don't like they all do it. Starting capital 150,000, but the most you can lose is 5,000. So it's really a $5,000 account. But the point is, so the goal, like for this one, you got to make 15 grand before you lose 6,500, right? And if you do, then you're funded. So that's the thing. It's like you can practice. If you lose, you're not getting killed. You're only losing a fraction with the discount, right? So it's not even this much. Again, you get 80% off right now as their current sale. I think use Pulcini 50, you get that. If you lose, you lose $40 or $50, right? It's still $50. Don't get me wrong, but you're not losing a $5,000 account. And if you do well, then you're funded. And then you have a $5,000 account you can trade. See what I'm saying? So these are, guys, we had nothing like this, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. There was only one out there at the time. But it's like, it's such a gift to have that to be potentially funded. So you're not trading your own money. You don't have to trade your own money. This is the monthly Q levels. I already missed this whopper. I'm still beside myself. I missed this. I have no one to blame but myself. I'm staring at this huge buy ice into these GEX levels and did not take. Look at this trade. I would have been in literally like right here. So say 24.70. That's a big trade. That's a 20 points of that. It's like 150 point trade so far. Anyway, that's these levels here. You get 20% off. I'm doing a webinar with him. Again, we've done a bunch of them. Just go to his YouTube channel, but we're doing another one next Tuesday. I'll send out an email. So join my email list on my website, scottpulcinitrader.com. It's in here too. You'll get that invite. Anyway, here's your monthly and yearly. Here's spot gamma. We haven't even looked at this yet today, and this is the driver of all trading right now. The hero. This is the options activity, real-time options activity. That's the blue line, and they actually have a new updated version here. I have access to it. You guys don't have access to it yet. It's coming out. He's doing I sent out an email the other day. He's doing a huge webinar on the 28th. So 5 days from now. I think it's the 28th. I'll send it out again too. Anyway, this is the new version. You can see the hero flow with the flow alerts with it's a vertical line. So this is just telling you that a biggest option trade has come through, and this one worked earlier for the time being. So the options flow was going up. You get the flow alert. What usually happens is once this thing levels out, it's like a rejection type of sign. And you can see this is the white was the market. So this is a yes. So it did work at the time. And you got another one up here. So this is telling you something now though, right? So see how the market reacted to that flow alert? This flow alert came in and look what the market's doing. It's flatlining. What does that mean? Dealers are still loaded up. So what's going on here is if you see this is bearish flow, meaning the dealers are on the other side. The dealers are on the other side of the options buying. They have to turn around and hedge in the futures. So sell the futures. So that's why the futures go down. This time, same thing happened. Nothing's happening here. What is that telling me? It's telling me somebody is absorbing the dealer's action here. What do you think is going to happen when this turns up? It's going to rip off of the page, very likely. So he actually references me on his webinars because I pointed that out to him. How the times where you get this flat line, the dealers are still selling futures. Somebody's absorbing it right now. When this turns up, watch out. And it's coming, and it's probably coming right pretty soon here, because right around this time of day is when the games start. Let's see where the big GEX levels are. This is another thing in spot gamma. So anyway, on that flip book, you put in code Scotty up. Here we go. So this is the Seek and Destroy. We had the exact same thing, and I'm going to show you guys something else here with this stuff. This is incredible to know. This is running the show. I'm telling you, 95% of the time, the markets are mirroring what the hero is doing, and it's not the other way around. The markets don't drive the hero. The options flow is driving the hero, because the biggest, newest game in town is the 0 date to expiration manipulation of the options, because they get so much leverage, and then they just load up the dealers. Again, I don't blame them. It pisses me off watching it every day, especially when it's against I can have a great short on, right? And then they just start buying from the dealers, and I get crushed, and you can't see it coming. A lot of the times you can with the flow alerts. But the point is, I can't blame if I first of all, the options activities exploded over the years. Fabio will show it again in this meant their Q webinar next week. It wasn't even prevalent back when I was a scalper, but if it was, I would have done the same thing, right? So say this is coming down here and I keep getting long and then I'm out of bullets. Well, it's just I got to sit here and hope it doesn't go against me. Well, if I have access to the options, then now I start buying options from the dealers. They have to buy the futures, so it's like I have more bullets. So I would have done the same thing, but it pisses me off watching it against me. But you got to know this information. So anyway, this is the search and destroy, where Brett talks about it all his webinars, where these huge options levels, then they start playing their game and the market goes right to them. Like look at yesterday. There was one yesterday, and then wait until I show you this from last week too. Showed my room about 20 times. This was yesterday's activity, and this is great about this too. You can go back and replay it. Like, look at this. And I was actually Dune Runner, who's the mini me in my trade room, probably the best trader in there, one of the best traders, who can literally, like, he's telling me to put on trades. He told me to put on one earlier. I can't remember what it was, and I'm glad he did, or I would have missed the trade. Anyway, you had some gex levels here, and it was kind of just like sticky, but those come off, and then watch those. See how the hero starts? They start playing their game, right? Here's the hero, and then watch, right? Bounced around a little bit, but look where it went. Come on. Yay, look at that. Right to it. Surprise, surprise. And then another thing I've been noticing, again, I'm brand new to this stuff, guys, as far as there's going to be probably another 10 strategies based on this stuff. And that's what traders do. Profitable, good traders do, right? I'm not patting myself on the back, but I am better than most, is you're always adapting, right? I never even paid attention to this stuff. Now it's the driver of trade. So you've got to adapt to this stuff. So like look at last Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday here. Here's Thursday. This is another thing that's been going on. This is different than seek and destroy, but these markets will come up to this stuff, right? Or this one wasn't up to it, but it's like when they take this off, whoever has these positions on and they take them off, the market doesn't necessarily have to be up here for it to react. They're taking it off. You're going to watch the hero do this. That's them taking this off, and then watch what the market does. And it's always right around this crappy time of day where they start to manipulate. Watch this. Comes off. It's still there. Still there. Comes out. Look at that. Comes off. Watch the hero. Boom. Market gone. Look at that. Look at that. All that was this coming off. That's the blue line. Look what the market did. So pay attention to that patterns. You see what I'm saying? Like there's more and more patterns that the more I watch this stuff, the more stuff I'm picking up. That's one of my gifts. That's what all my strategies are based off of, my experience trading, right? I pick up stuff, patterns. It's one of my gifts, one of my few gifts, right? Here's another one. The day before, same exact thing. I mean, exactly the same thing. There you go. Here's all the levels. Market was kind of bouncing around closer to it that day. Hero was moving up. Then watch when the stuff starts coming off here. Hey, look at that. Oh, look at that. So, guys, you have to know this stuff so you don't get your head taken off, right? You're long and you see that stuff coming off, you could just get out. I mean, I'm not doing that yet, but I will. It's called adapting. Anyway, same exact thing back to back. Pay attention to that. Anyway, that was part of that flip book. Go to, that's the spot gamma, and then he has his commentary. Let's just take a glance. All the stuff is invaluable. You've got to know this stuff. You have to. It just cracks me up, like traders, like you see on Twitter all the time, or X. They're like, yes, target is SPX target hit today. I was right, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you were right because of something that happened. I mean, it doesn't matter why you're right, I guess, but they have no idea this is even going on, right? So it's basically like a blind squirrel finding a nut, in my opinion. You got to know this stuff, guys, if you're gonna trade these futures markets, the equities. Let's see what he says today. Futures are off. There are no major data. There was a housing stat. They came out with that out of nowhere. They weren't because the government shut down, but that did come out. Things are unstable. We can carefully draw too many conclusions for today's more given the CPI tomorrow. I guess they're reporting that tomorrow, even with the shutdown. That said, SPX is under 6,700. We are back in a neutral to risk off stance. Very important when he talks this way. So you can structure, that's his thesis, right? You can structure your trades so you start getting short trades. You can maybe trade bigger type of thing, right? I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying This stuff is the driver of trading now. So you want these futures markets, so you want to pay attention when he talks like that. Looking back, we see the SPX make a low on Friday, and then we may have an interim high exactly at the VIX expiration. That was yesterday. The idea is the VIX expiration broke the vol crush and aided in the equity rally. Given this, we can assign a lot of recent movement to the flows around expiration. And that helps to frame where we stand. Event vol is building into tomorrow and the next week, and we should have it. And should the events prove benign, then the event vol should contract and helps to lift stocks. So again, this is all really important to know. That, of course, works both ways, where inflation prints and hawkish Fed dash the bulls' hopes. Ultimately, we're in a bit of wait and see until tomorrow. Now, guys, remember, I've always said, yes, this stuff is important. They're not the only players in the market, right? But most of the time, they're the only players in the market, the options game, right? So between them and the algos, that's 95% of the trade. 5% of the time, the big money comes in, like yesterday, they unloaded. But most of the time, and that's what trading is. You're trading a probability, which is something that happens more often than not. Most of the time, more often than not, it's these algos whipsawing you, and I guarantee the price change. This leads me to the market pulse that I was telling you guys. Look at this thing. So we're right in the time of day when nothing's going on, and then this thing takes over. Look at this thing. So this is the price change algo. I don't change anything on this, meaning it's default. Hold on, I'm hitting some alert here. What did I should be stopping out of this these Russell longs, by the way. And I can go short here, right? What were my shorts? I can't remember. I got sidetracked here because nothing was going on. Hold on here. Let's see. I thought I had shorts working here. I know I got shorts working in NASDAQ. No, nothing pick, nothing lug. Did we have an Izzy zone? Yeah, this is an Izzy. So I can get out of my longs and into my short. If that sell ice turns bearish, which is really close right now. I thought I already had this entries, so I'm out of my shorts, and then I'm into I'm out of my longs there. The remaining, remember I got out. This is why I get out at certain areas, right? Like look at this. I got out of some there. I didn't get out any here because I was close. But then remember I said struggle. Look at that. It struggled to get through here and then failed. So now if I get stopped out, at least I made a little bit of profit. I scratched the rest. Validated right now. Let me get this pick in. I don't like trading at this time of day, position trading. I just stopped out of the rest of those longs with a small profit. I can't believe that hit it to the tick, though. That's really surprising. I've never seen that before, except every single time. So I'm gonna only put on half here. This is what I was telling you. Play the price change game. Let's try it. It's even better at this time of day. I shouldn't even be taking trades right now. I vowed I would not trade from.
Order filled.
I've lost millions of dollars in my career between 10:15 and 12:30 Central. I mean, millions of dollars. So I put on half because this is price changing, right? So this is what I was showing you guys. Like, look, it's taking over all these markets. I can show you every one of these markets right now, right? Price change, market flips. Price change, market flips. Price change, market flips. Price change, market. This is what I'm talking about. The algo's running the show now. Here's another price change. So I put on half because I'm expecting that to happen. There's going to be times where you play the price change game and it goes like this and you're pissed off, you only put on half. I'm okay with playing the game right now. Meaning I got in half on my Izzy. I'm out of my shorts. I mean my longs. I'm in half of an Izzy. So I put on 4 of the 7. This pops back up with a price change. I'm going to get a better price and I'm going to put the rest on. All right. So that's the price change game. Again, you got to be okay with missing the trade full size. I have the working here. We lost the audio. What is the deal with this thing? It shows the audio's here. You're talking about Discord, Dune Runner? Oh, you can't hear me though. You said to please reset my mic. That was a while ago. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Could you hear me in YouTube land? At least? Anyone? Bueller? If you guys can hear me, please let me know. Check. If you can hear me, thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, it must be Discord. Give me a second here. I don't know what's going on with Discord. It shows the microphone. Hold on, let me refresh this. Hold on. God, I got some weird echoes going on too. It sounds like a
White House official
horror movie.
pardons
All right, you guys hear
Biden
me in Discord? Should be able to hear me in Discord. If not, I don't know. Dan, I need help. Speaking of which, before I forget, Bookmap still has this this thing going on here. This makes you a better trader in its own right. Post your charts with what you see. You can use my, say, hey, I'm trading Scott strategies. All right, fine. Post it. Share your winning setups. They need to change this so it's one word, but so it's on one line. Setups on any of these and put the hashtag and you will win this. So that promotes Bookmap and it promotes how awesome these setups work. Again, it'd be nice if you tag me if you're trading my setups, but there you go. Make sure you do that. All right, so this already did the reversion. I can't take the reversion. I still have shorts working here in NASDAQ. And I am short Russell now, out of my longs into a short based on, and I didn't just get short because this was sell ice up here, right? I got short because it was a volume event that proved bearish. Tag the ATR. And I'm going to put this gets really annoying, but I'm going to turn this on. So these are all the different algos. I'm going to listen. So it'll let me know once this starts to hit threshold. So this is, again, market pulse quickly. I know I'm all over the place here, guys. I only have a few minutes left, so I'm trying to cover this stuff. So this is the price change algo. Everything's default here. So it's based on 5 minutes. It'll color and make a noise when it tags 70% or more of a price change, and you will be amazed at what these algos are. There's so many algos that trade off of this. I already showed you there. And I can go to any of these markets. Like look at the price change in NASDAQ. Same exact thing. Right? That's, you know, sometimes it just does a little blip. This one, look at that. Look at that. That was a little blip there, but then it did it here. Look at that. That. So you get the gist, right? So 95% of the time, it's either these algos playing games with you and your money, because it's a zero-sum game. They're trying to steal your money, and the options game, which starts right about now. So I'm not, if this turned into a bullish event, and you can take the seek and destroy, that's one of my newest strategies. Remember I told you there's going to be about 10 more of these things, and that's the good thing about my course too. If you get the courses, you have access, you'll get updates when I add for life. Every time I add a strategy going forward, if I change something with the SI stuff, or if I change something with these strategies, I will post it. You'll get an email, hey, there's an updated setup, or there's an updated strategy. So you get that for life. So it's a lifetime, as long as I'm trading, which will be forever, hopefully. What was I showing you guys? I forgot now. Let me see if we got any other questions before I forget. That's such a strange echo on Discord. All right. Omar. Bookmap identifies price levels with high liquidity absorption and marks them with the box, and then plots 1, 2, or 3 tail levels with the box. It's not high. Well, it technically is. It shows you icebergs and stop runs, right? With 100% certainty. If you go to the CME website, it talks all about it. It's CME NBO data. This has been around now for 8 years. And there's only 1 or 2 data providers. There are only 2 data providers that provide this information that I know of right now for the last 8 years, which is unbelievable. Rhythmic and Bookmap data. Bookmap data is actually even cheaper if you go to their main site. They don't have it on their, it's not on the marketplace. So go over here, go to more, right there. It's cheaper than anything right now. You get the bundle, meaning you get all these markets, which I highly recommend. You don't want to just pigeonhole yourself into like just the CME products, right? You want to watch this stuff for all, because it happens all over the place. We already saw these happening in gold and crude and like the reversions, everything else. So, and that's the great thing about them at their Q levels. You get them for all the products, most of these futures products, right? Gold, crude, natural gas, grains, the main grains, wheat and soybeans, copper, silver. So that's the data feed for that. But yeah, it is high liquidity absorption. Icebergs are absorption. Stop runs are not absorption. Stop runs are retail traders puking most of the time, which gives you information in its own right. We call it the dumb and dumber, one of my 6 setups, right? What's that telling you? Well, most of the time, stop runs, and you can't really see it here because of this price change algo. Let me turn this off. Most of the time, pukes are not initiative buying. That's important to know. Meaning, when you're just looking at a bar chart, you're like, oh yeah, look how strong this market is. Look, it's straight up. Well, is there big money buying up here, or is it moving higher at this point just because guys are puking out? Well, that's good information to know. It's more likely to do that. More likely is the key term than to do that. But I do have a setup called stop and hold. When you do get a stop run and the big money is behind it and it holds, it keeps going higher. How do I determine how it gets out of the zone? The ATR. So this is a Dumb and Dumber setup, right? And I'm going to take shorts off of this Dumb and Dumber setup if it comes down to my entry. It still has not filled me on the entry. I'm waiting for the tick fill here, which always happens, seems like. But yeah, it's high liquidity as in icebergs. Again, those are hidden orders in the order book. You don't, all they have to display, and again, if you read that CME MBO page that I was talking about. So what's different too is the market by price. This is like the CQGs of the world. They still have this, it's just showing you 10 levels of price levels. Meaning, so if you look at the order book on any other platform, the data feed, and you see all this, it's not even real. It's just showing the first 10 levels are real, but everything else is just made up. It's not, it's in the past. It's not updating. The MBO gives you all this, the real liquidity, and you can see it on here. So you know what's in the order book. And then you get the enhanced data with the stop iceberg right there. And they have specific IDs. So Bookmap has found a way to disseminate the information and display it for us. This was one. Did I miss something here in ES? My threshold in ES is 700. Hold on. But you get times where you'll get back-to-back events, and neither one of them are a threshold, but you can add them together. I don't have back-to-back, so that was not a threshold event. So this is what I'm talking about. I don't just trade every event, right? It's got to be threshold, so that didn't alert me or draw the zone for me. But anyway, icebergs are very important. Does it mean every time you see a buy iceberg, it's going to react like it did in Russell today? No. But we already talked about this when this was happening, when I missed the sexy Gexy. I still don't know how I did that, like I said. But it's telling you the big money's buying right here. That's something you need to know. You want to know. Why? If you're short here, you ride this down, you're like, yeah, I got this. Wouldn't you want to know that there's Gex levels here? Wouldn't you want to know that somebody is buying huge here? A big entity. It doesn't mean they're going to be right, and we take advantage of it if they're not right. But they were right. Don't you want to know that? Instead of just wondering why the hell the market bounced here? That's the point. It doesn't mean they're always right, though. But the area is what's important, so we traded accordingly. All right, run out of gas. Let's see any other questions. Is this the price change game? Maybe we can put the rest of these on right before I get off here. But this is what I was talking about. See this? Here's the game. I only put on half there. Here's the price change. Now I can put on the rest at a better price. So I put on 4 earlier. Now I'll put on 4 more.
Order held.
Sometimes this keeps going too. This is the thing. You can't, yes, you can scalp this when nothing's going. Hey, look, I got to turn this down, guys. This will drive me. So I turn it on to know, and then see how it's 90% of the price change right now. That's why it's making the 9. All right, that's got to be turned up. And I could have waited a couple seconds here too. You can wait for it to turn and then get in. But the point is, it works. So say you're like, oh man, this is the best scalp. I want to trade this thing every time. That's fine. You get obviously ultra hyperactive that you got to be in and out, which you're churning your account on it. And there's going to be times where this price changes. The big money comes in. This thing could price change for 300 ticks, right? So it works until it doesn't. So that if you're going to play that game, and I'm going to come out with a Bookmap, a free, I'm doing a free webinar course for them based on some of these market pulse things. There's a way to trade it, but you just got to be okay in the time where price changes and keeps going. Just put your stop in. Usually you can risk about an ATR on it. Again, I'm not going to get into the whole, I don't even trade it, but I'm just giving you guys ideas. I use it to help me time my entries. Like you saw that. I saw that was happening. Price change to the downside. This was very likely going to do that, which it did, and I just put on the other half. Doesn't mean the trade's going to be a winner. Just means I got a better price for the other half. And I was risking it doing that. The last 5 I've done, I cost myself because I was waiting for price change, and it did that. So you got to be okay with it. This time of day, though, this is when the games start. let's take one more look at Trace here. See where they're going to push this market in the scam game that they play. Let's see. So this is coming off, guys. This is exactly what happened last Thursday. Remember, I just showed you. So it hasn't happened yet, but if you start to see the hero do that, the market is going to do that. This is telling me something, though, that this is coming off this time, and it's not responding. What do we just talk about looking at the hero? Somebody was absorbing. So that's still coming off right now, but this market's not reacting. That's telling me it's more than likely going to rip now. I don't know the right levels to say whether it's going to sell off like I showed you last week, or somebody's absorbing and it's going to do that. Meaning, I don't know how much has to come off. If this all comes off and this market does nothing, watch the hell out to the upside, right? So this is what I was just talking about with that hero alert. It's right here, right? The market should have already sold off on it. Look at this. This is exactly what I talked about, guys. This is going down right now. I shouldn't have put this Russell on because of the Russell's not tied to the hero as much as NASDAQ and the S. See, there's your retest. You pigs. Here we go. Guys, it's every day at this time of day. Every day there's some sort of manipulation. Damn it, I should have just waited. Because again, this is why I don't even like putting on position trades at this time of day, because this happens every single day, this game. You just got to hope you're on the right side of it. Remember I said this just about 10 minutes ago? Said there's a flow alert. Should have done that. Hero sold off, market follows. What did the market do this time? Somebody was absorbing the hero flow. And I said, if this turns up, that's what's happening. Watch out. And that's what's happening. I'm not psychic. I'm just telling you, this is the game. Don't you need to know that? Wouldn't you want to know that? That's my point, guys. Like, you get all these guys like, I don't need to know that stuff. Yeah, you do. Or you're not going to do well overall. Hold on. Let me just see what I think I missed the reversion here in Russell. I thought it already retested. No, there wasn't really anything for me. You know, what I could have been watching for here is the tag of back the GEX1, but it already retested, so that's done. Stops up here. This is why I don't like putting on position trades at this time of day. I lose on probably 85% of them. It sucks. If this comes back, I'm probably going to get out of these because I just don't. The thing is, too, even if it ends up being a winner, most days, like today, you're going to sit and watch this for 3 hours. And by the time, if the market does pick up in the afternoon, you're brain dead. You're just like, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. It's not worth it overall. I'm telling you, I've lost millions of dollars. And if you take one thing from this webinar today, and I've showed you a ton of stuff, don't trade between 10:15 and 12:30 Central. Period. I don't care what market it is. And we're going to know even more when we get the stats for this new Zen Edge AI journaling thing that you get access to in my room. All right, so there was a stop run. I'll just cover this quickly. I got to hop off here. You know, I still have Izzy's working off of this, and I think this is still a dad too. So I'll just take him off of this event versus the first one. Let's see. But again, guys, I don't even want to put on position trades right now because of the time. But if you're gonna, here's another high divergence, stop run, dad short. It's still in that Izzy zone. Izzy short. There it is. If that fails, and a pick short right there. So 3 strategies short if you want to trade at this time and get me tortured for the next 3 hours. All right, so I do this every day for my trade room. Come on by. If you come in my trade room, if you're not going to participate, then please find another trade room because I want guys that actually want to make that like our own trading firm. Everyone's sharing ideas, pointing out stuff, so on and so forth. So it's there available to you. I show this stuff every day and show you to the best of my ability how I'm trading and the best edge I've ever seen in trading. So, all right, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining.